said they're sweeping up the confetti here at the Alamo Dome, and that's about all that's left of the Texas season. Disappointing 8-5 season that really, I think to you and me, finished in predictable fashion. 30-7 Oregon, the better team, decisively better team won, don't you think?
Yeah, and the bigger story is Mack Brown departing, his final game as head coach. Kirk, he kept a brave face, but what I saw was a defiant Mack Brown, a proud Mack Brown, and a very angry Mack Brown. I don't think this was the exit that he envisioned happening. I'm not saying over the last couple of weeks. I'm saying over the last few years when he had it going here, to see him run out of this thing with a train wreck of running the Bohls TV cameraman chasing him and his wife, and then to not even really want to address the elephant in the room.
He pretty much held it all in.
I mean, and why is that?
I think he wants to go out with class. I think he doesn't want to go out throwing slings and arrows at anybody, and I think his true emotions are still bottled up. And probably inside, when he thinks back to this game and this season, he's probably going to wonder, where did it all go wrong? Because he was on the king of the mountaintop in college football. From like 04 to 09, he was right there with the best of them. He was the Alabamas, the Florida States, the Auburns, and did it consistently, as we know. And I think he's probably a little bit mystified. I think he's hurt and just probably utter disappointment. He seemed very, very washed out, and to me, almost a little bit numb.
Yeah, and every time someone tried to ask him a question about his legacy, about how things played out and how things will play out in the coming days, he wanted to keep it on football, all the while not really addressing the fact that he's unemployed now and he doesn't have a football team to coach. Do you think you'll see Mack Brown coach next season, or do you think he'll take a year off?
I think he probably will take a year off. I think he probably doesn't even want to think about his future for the next week, 2 weeks, maybe even longer. And I think it would depend on that perfect fit of a job that opens up. You never know when the dominoes start falling what might appeal to him. And one thing, he doesn't want to stay out too long. When you're 62, he'll be 63 before next season, and so he'd be 64 before another season if he sits out a year. He can't sit out very long, but as he told us privately all year long, he's got a lot of coaching left in his tank. And I think if he gets away from it a month, I think maybe some of those old emotions start stirring a little bit. But I don't think we've seen the last of Mack Brown. Now maybe he will be in a TV booth, a studio, and I think he well fits a studio. He's smooth, he's polished, he's glib, and he loves college football. There's no mistake about that. And I just think, it's kind of a shame how this ended, because I think at the core, Mack's a very nice, decent, good man. And I think he genuinely does care about the players. Yeah, he's got an ego and he can be thin-skinned, but he put this program back on the top, and as Major Applewhite told us today, he made it nationally relevant. And they've fallen from that pedestal. 30-21, you wrote about it for tomorrow's paper. That doesn't cut it at the University of Texas.
That doesn't cut it here, and for all the people who were his detractors and for all the people who turned on him, those people need to remember that the ones that are clamoring for some new energy, for another winner to get in here, remember that Mack Brown was the one who raised that bar. Give him respect for raising that bar, and for the next guy that's coming in here, you better be good, because nothing else matters here except winning national championships.
Yeah, you got to win, you got to produce, and you got to do it regularly. And Mack Brown set that standard, and that's the standard they're going to need to match when they hire Mack Brown's successor. We're live here at the Alamo Dome for the season finale of the Texas Longhorns. Losers 30-7 to the Oregon Ducks.